Hello everyone, Tanak here. Welcome to episode 74 of Building My Industrial Empire in EVE Online. Let's start with the progress report. As you can see, my net worth plus that of the corporation is now at 227 billion ISK. If we look at the tracker here, we can see that it dropped a little compared to last week. When going to the detail, you will be able to see why. The first point is I've stopped tracking Guns N' Roses Holding and Tanak Kalahed. The reason is that these company, we don't use Guns N' Roses Holding. We're specifically we're holding all our structure in the Executor Corp, which is toy company, and Tanak Kalahed is an alt I don't really play, so there's no reason for me to track him. He will be, like you see, staying at the same rate every day, and holding it's just the value of some stuff some asset that I had to locate. So I'm no longer tracking those two, just to simplify the thing. So I'm just tracking Tanak and Erika, which are the two characters that I do play on one account, and Toy Company plus Procurement, which is our out of Alliance hauler that is non-deckable. As you can see here, it does the last few weeks has been a little bit like not the best week for progression, but that stuff happen. You don't, like, not every day, not every week is a positive week. The other thing is we'll see when we get to the war part, but we did have a war which cost us a little SRP bill, nothing major, but still enough that it make a little dent in the money this week. So that's it for the progress. HR, let's look at HR. You can see that the Alliance now has 521 member. There is a drop here. What happened is that Or Junk, which joined 2 weeks ago, has been removed from the Alliance. What happened with them is that the Alliance director felt that there was an incompatibility between what their approach to the game and our approach to the game. Guns N' Roses, Guns N' Roses and Womp in general, because his gun Womp rusted, and like all the corp in the Alliance we aren't really a casual player. We are people that log in often, that play often, that are active on comm, that log in and want to accomplish something. We're pretty driven as a group, and our feeling was that the other group that joined had more a casual approach to the game. We had problem with the comm part, getting on comm, like following through with the onboarding procedure to the Alliance and everything. That wasn't ideal, and it's not to say that their approach to the game is bad or not, but it's just not a fit with what we're trying to accomplish ourselves. Doesn't mean that we're no longer looking for Alliance. We're still looking for Corp to join the Alliance. What we want from a member corp is we want a corp to have at least 10 active player, not alt of a single player, like 10 active player. We want the people to be committed to come live with us in our null pocket. We don't want to have a corp that have asset all over ISEC locally. We want to be focused on our area of null space. We want the people that join in to play regularly, to be active, to clean their inactive member from their corp, and to be active on comm and in our standing fleet when they are in pocket and when they are online. So that's the kind of progression that we've made so far. And if you've been following the series for a while, you've noticed that this was something that initially we weren't committed to that type of gameplay because we had a more casual approach at the beginning of the series, but we've kind of progressed in our approach to the game so far. And it's not to say that one is better than the other, but since we've committed to become a self-holding entity in Null, we did change our approach, and most of the members that are here and that were part of that journey made that choice collectively, and we decided to commit to that type of gameplay. So we do expect that people that join our alliance right now are committed to that type of gameplay and a less casual approach than what we have when we initially started. So that's it for HR. So anyway, our number, aside from that bump and drop, our number are still following like a standard progression. Like the doodle drop here are Orb that left the alliance at some point. But the rest is we're following a steady progression here of members. So recruitment is good, onboarding is good, the number keep growing. So for us, it's still very positive what's happening on the HR perspective. Now, after HR, military. What you can see this week was a little bit crazy. We had a lot of battle. We're actually now at 41% dangerous, so there's a good progression on our result in our fight. What I can tell you here is Tanak himself is now at 66% dangerous. I even was at 67 at one point in the week. These days here are actually the last weekend. Weekend in our pocket is typically whack-a-mole. I think I got in one day Saturday, because these step over, and this is like my Saturday of gaming. I think I got personally into 5 fight, at least. It was like non-stop. So we had fights. Then we did a lot of roaming. Like we do typically roaming every weekend. Like this is roaming. A bunch of nice skill that we've got. And what happened on Tuesday? On Tuesday, Volta refed our Athanor in BDV3. Erica, huge assets here in BDV3. They revved that structure on Tuesday, and we had a battle with them on Wednesday. The battle was pretty good. Here is the battle report. So the team, as you can see, the team were more or less of similar size. We actually had in-house a bigger subcap fleet than Volta, but they had some guys from Scumlord. I think Moonsugar weren't with them, but they were like third partying, from what I understood, or were they with them? I'm not sure. Anyway, it was the Volta camp against us. Initially, the fight went pretty good. They brought the Drake Navy with a few support Hugin and a few Macarial. We had our Serb fleet. The fight started pretty well for us. We shot a few of their Drake Navy. We shot a Hugin. And at that point, they Sino-in a Minokawa and 2 Nidhogger. You don't see the Minnow here, but they had 3 cap on grid, 1 Minnow and 2 Nidhogger. We had a cap fleet on standby ready to drop, but we also had eyes on Volta's docking, and they had 27 cap ready to drop. So we can't quite match that yet. So what we ended up doing is we didn't commit the cap that we had to escalate, because we didn't want to get into a cap brawl where we would lose our entire cap fleet. So once they started dropping cap, we were no longer able to break their rep, and they managed to web a few of the SERB. Our FC, what he explained to me is that, well, what happened is that a few of the guys that were losing SERB didn't -1 in fleet. So we stayed on the grid a little too long before bailing out, which ended up with us losing 3.5 bill of SERB against 1.6 bill of inflicted damage. Still, for us, we look at this as a positive battle because we were on grid with Volta, and on a subcap battle, we did manage to hold our own, and actually we were standing our ground. And if the battle would have stayed just at the subcap level, I think we would have probably come out ahead on that specific battle. I'm not saying that we would all the time against Volta on subcap. I'm not trying to pretend that, but on that specific battle, it was going very well for us. Once they drop cap, well, they have cap superiority that we can't match, so we had to bail again at that point. But still, they had to actually drop cap to turn the tide of the battle, which is for us is a moral victory, you would say. It was pretty good. It's a good measuring stick of how far we've come as an alliance to be able to stand toes to toes on a subcap battle with a group like Volta. So we did progress a lot on that. Anyway, once the cap were on grid and we started losing ship, we bailed out because we weren't able to break the rep. They pushed the station to the all-timer. So the fight, if there is a fight, it will happen this weekend. The discussion we had with Volta prior to the fight, they told us that they wanted a fight and that if we show up, they wouldn't push the timer on the last timer. So we'll see. We're still gonna form up just in case of third parties and that could try to push the timer. So we will have people ready just in case. We will see how this goes this weekend. Worst case, it's an Athanor, and we might get a good fight out of it. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's the result of that battle. Aside from that, what else? Oh yeah, we're still under war deck. We don't care. That's for us. It has no impact. I don't think we lost any ship, or maybe one ship this week, but nothing to worry about on our side. That's pretty much it for military. Industry. We did reorganize a little bit our production to get a better spread of rigs for our construction. So we now use 3 systems to build. The reason we use 3 systems is to keep the industrial index low enough, like the production index, production modifier, low enough so that the build job don't cost too much. It helps us keep the build job low, the build job cost low, to increase the profit margin of our builder. So we do have significant production capability. We pretty much got everything that we're pretty much able to produce, like any type of needed equipment up to capital ship. So we got a pretty sweet setup here for production. We also have 2 types of we have a biochemical and a composite reaction running in pocket. So again, pretty sweet industrial setup. We're hoping that as we're watching the market to see when cap become profitable again, because right now the people are still buying off the supply that has been in stock, like the stockpile that was there in the market. So you are still at a point where cap are being sold for less than the sum of their component. The market will stabilize. It is already moving into a good direction. So we're waiting a little bit to start producing more cap when it makes financial sense. And I feel that might happen in a few weeks still. So anyway, we are still like running a good and like interesting industry, adapting to the new industrial change. We do a lot of gas harvesting, a lot of reaction in pocket, moon mining also. We got a bunch of reaction. We got like moon mineral to do a bunch of reaction in pocket. So all in all, that's a lot of fun stuff on the industrial side that is happening. Aside from that, pure blind politics. Uh, there's a little move here where toilet paper entosist tree of Bender's iHub. I think if I would have to place a bet, I think that they've entosed it to support quote in their growth here. I don't think toilet paper intend to claim those systems for themselves. I think that they will probably offer them to quote, but I'm not sure. Again, that's just a guess from what I'm reading from the situation here. Aside from that, that fight here, not much move on the pure blind politics side. This will be an interesting battle that I'm going to watch this weekend, but we're probably not going to third party in there because, well, it's a fight between TP and Bender, and we don't have any skin in that game as of now. So no reason for us to get involved. We might send the fleet to just see if there's some easy picking and easy target there, but that's about it. Okay, I think that covered most of the aspect I cover normally. Aside from that, Tanak is now at 51 million SP and still climbing. I'm training into the T2 projectile to get the T2 guns on my Munin. I could spend a skill point to get there. I'm not going to. I'm just slowly training unless I need to use the Munin tomorrow. Then I'm gonna inject what I need to get the T2. But aside from that, I'm mostly like continuing to train into subcap ship. I don't want to spend more on the industrial skill for now. I still like to look at industry. I still do, like occasionally I follow what's happening, but personally myself, I don't. It's not really the gameplay I play anymore. I mostly play. I mostly rat and do PvP. So training my combat skill is more useful to me at this point. It's not to say that I never do industry. I do. At some point, I will probably refocus when I get a chance. I do want to upgrade my spreadsheet to get like a better view and be better equipped with the new industrial change. But at the same time, I kind of enjoy the PvP a little more than I used to. So I'm training mostly as a combat pilot now. What else? Yeah, that's about it. So what can you expect for the next few weeks? Well, we'll see if Volta keep their word and don't attack BDV, or if they do. We'll see if a third party show up and what happened there. So that's one thing that's going to be interesting to see. We will see what happened in those little enthoses battle here, to see if the map of Pureblind change a little bit. For us, we are still a little bit boxed in our area with our number that keeps on growing. We are actively looking at areas of expansion, but at the same time we're padding our wallet because we need to have the financial backbone that is strong enough to be able to sustain any type of expansion somewhere else. So grabbing is definitely on the table for at least a few weeks still. That's the reality of the game, is that you don't, well, sometimes the sandbox will throw stuff at you, like as one of your station being ref, but sometimes just to realize your plan and your goal, well, you need the money to do it. And we're in that phase where we do have high ambition, but we need to get the financial capability to realize those ambitions. So that's what you can expect for the next few weeks. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you got any question, any comment, just say in the comment section below. I always answer my comments. If you want, reach out in game. If you're interested in joining, just apply to the corp and one of our recruiter will contact you to discuss it with you. We do have a public channel also, which is Guns R Us Public. If you are interested in applying to guns, if you're a corp looking to join the alliance and you fit the criteria I've explained before, you can also contact me in game. So have fun, guys, and see you next week. Bye bye.